Right. So, in regard to the guideware testing part itself is concerned, in the last session we have discussed about the manual process because we have two different things. One is about the manual testing followed by automation testing. So, manual testing where we prepare some test cases, test plans, etc. When it comes to the automation testing, where we have to test the code, all that stuff. In that regard, as far as the guideware testing framework is concerned, we must be knowing about two different testings. Today I'm going to discuss about that. The first one about API testing and second one about UI testing, because these are the two major things which are required here. Because from the guideware testing perspective, these are the two major things you need to know. Because API testing, when there is any kind of integrations we do, right? So if you want to develop communication between two different applications or among applications, we have to create some RESTful API or web API, SOAP API, right? So we create APIs. So that has to be tested. Okay. So we need to design and as well as executing end-to-end testing and all in the Guideware cloud environment. In the process of understanding, so within using some behavioral aspects, something like BDD, right? So because we follow uh, developmental approach, which is called BDD, which is about behavioral development, behavioral driven development. We have different development approaches. We have test driven development, feature driven development, model driven development, behavioral driven development, etc. So in this process of understanding, it's important for us to build any kind of test scenarios and all. So for that, different frameworks we are using, even karate, all that. At the same time, we can even compose some scenarios. At the same time, we can bind some Cucumber expressions, test data management, all that. In process of learning about API testing, it's important for us to have tools like applications like IntelliJ IDE is required, or else we can have some Visual Studio Code, etc. At the same time, we need to have Node.js. At the same time, any JDK is enough, right? So because Java JDK is important because it can be correctly in JDK or for test data management we are using. Next one about we required some X-ray also. X-ray even we needed. So X-ray integration is also required here. At the same time, Karate framework is needed even. Right? So Karate framework is needed. It's Karate framework is needed. Next, X-ray is required. X-ray integration is required. So normally, this X-ray integration we are using Jira because Jira now and then for agile environment we are using. So X-ray integration with Jira can also be done. So this is also one of the core and important element comes under the API perspective. So API testing we are using even Postman also. So Postman for API testing we are using widely we are using all that. When it comes to the user interfaces and all, wherein if you want to create end-to-end interface testing and all, so for that generally we use Cucumber because Cucumber for Cucumber BDD. We are using this Cucumber BDD we use so that the behavior testing and all everything we are using. Next, one of the important one now and then we are using called Ignite, right? This is majorly used to generate any kind of page objects automatically. So Ignite we are using here. Next, for that we require different tools like JetBrains, IntelliJ IDE, or any JDK. At the same time, we may be required some Gradle, right? So Gradle is generally a build tool. So Gradle build tool we are using now and then. At the same time, Karate framework are already given, right? So if you want to create any kind of testing, RESTful APIs or something like Karate framework we are using. Cucumber we are using here. At the same time, last but not least, Jerkin. So this is also something required. So this is all something part of guided testing framework. This is what something we are learning from tomorrow onwards.